is a flow and restore yoga class. It's a combination light vinyasa movement with an emphasis on the restorative yoga poses. The intention of the active movement is to help release restlessness in the body and the mind, to facilitate helping you settle into the stillness of the restorative poses. Helpful to have the props that you'll need on hand at the beginning. So today's practice, I'm just going to use 3 pillows. You'll need 1 towel or folded blanket. If you do have a bolster, then feel free to use that in place of the pillows. And always helpful to have blocks. Yoga blocks are lightweight, just a couple inches in height and then length. If you don't, then you can use a full toilet paper roll. And if you have an eye pillow, a very lightweight for your eyes for those poses that are reclining. Really nice to encourage the eyes to release tension. All right, we're gonna go ahead and begin. We're gonna begin standing, so you don't need your blanket just yet. Just some gentle movement, roll your shoulders, shake your legs out. Find any gentle movement in the head and neck. Also important to emphasize that the movement, it helps to ready the muscles to release tension. It's not such an easy flick of a switch. The body needs a little bit of time. But most importantly, my hope is that this light vinyasa flow helps draw your attention into your body, to let it land there. We're so used to multitasking. We're so used to spending quite a bit of time up here. And we really want to connect the body to the mind, to the breath. All right, just a gentle warm up. Let's take a few minutes to center. So rock back and forth on your feet. The purpose of centering is to help land your attention in your body. So find a comfortable stance. Connect your feet to the earth to help draw your attention inward, looking down at the ground. Or if you feel steady, then close your eyes. Let your spine draw up nice and tall. Just feel that space that you can create by pointing the tailbone down to the ground and lifting up tall through the crown of your head. To help that, draw your shoulder blades lightly together on your back and just turn your palms open and out, and then rotate the palms the other way. Just in and out as a nice opening for the shoulders. And then eventually come into stillness and place your hands on your thighs lightly. Take a big deep breath in. Let your ribs expand. And then a nice big deep breath out. Just giving yourself a few moments to land on your mat, to land in your body, to land on this breath. And to draw you inward, we'll do a breath practice. It's called the extended exhale. Just to give you a structure for that, I'll suggest you start with a 4-count inhale and a 6-count exhale. You do that for 3 rounds of breath. A round of breath is a full inhale and a full exhale. If your numbers are different, that's fine. Tune into your own breath and your own numbers, but try to keep that ratio. And wherever you're at with that breath practice, when you finish your next exhale, release the breath practice and return to your normal breath pattern. Bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Press the palms together, press fingertips and thumbs together, and rest the thumbs at your sternum. Just take a moment, and I invite you to set an intention for this practice. A single word. A quality, a characteristic, an aspiration, something you want more of. Then take a big deep breath in. And even slower, smoother, deeper breath out. And then release your hands to your sides, blink your eyes open. Just lightly flick your fingers, lightly bend your knees. And then we'll begin with a warm-up of circles. So shift your weight to the right foot, come on to the big toe, and then let the circles initiate with the toe. And then let the ankle begin to initiate the circles. And then the knee, maybe the circles become a little bit bigger. And then imagine the effort comes right where the thigh meets the hip. And maybe you even lift your foot off the ground. Release that and shift your weight to the left foot. Come on to the big toe of the right foot. And same thing on the other side. Toe circles, ankle circles, knee circles, and upper thigh. And maybe lift your foot off the ground, challenging your balance. And then put your weight back on both feet and step a little bit wider to add some hip circles. Bend your knees, soft ankles, making these circles as small or as big as feels good for you, and then reverse direction. Lubricating the joints, and come to stillness. Place your hands on your ribs. I want you to try to isolate these circles to just the ribs. So it's a very small movement. Just see what you can do with your hands on your ribs. And then reverse the direction. Try to keep those hips steady. Try to make the movement in your ribs. And then let that go. Begin with some gentle shoulder circles, up and back. And then add the elbows. And then include the wrists with the elbows still bent. And then straighten the arms and make your circles inclusive. Feel that in your shoulders, making these circles as big as feels good for your shoulders right now. Slow it down. And then a couple neck circles in one direction. Keep the body steady. Just let the movement be in your neck. And then go the opposite way. And slow it down. Come back into a little bit more of a Tadasana alignment with your feet like the equal sign and toes pointing forward. Let's press down through feet and inhale, arms up overhead. Push down through heels, reach up through the hands, look up. Return your gaze parallel or level to the ground. Right hand grabs left wrist. For an inhale up and an exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, come back up, release the bind. Now left hand grabs right wrist. Inhale, pull that right side up long. Exhale, tilt to the left. Let it feel good. Pull your belly in. Inhale, arms up. Release that. Exhale, hands down. Stand wide. Feet wider than hips for a very loose Qigong twist. Think about soft joints. So step wide, soften ankles, knees, hips, elbows, shoulders. Send your arms out wide. And just move at your own momentum. Let all your joints be soft. Let this warm your whole body up. Wake up your spine. And you can bend at the elbows. You can make small fists and tap. One more time each side. And release and let it go. Let's do some sun salutations to move into that vinyasa flow. If you have blocks, you can use them. And helpful for our lunges. Putting the blocks at the top of your mat. Coming into mountain pose. Your feet will frame the blocks. Have a little bit of movement, forward and backward, rocking on your feet. Wake them up, side to side. And then come into stillness as you press down, feet to the earth. Firm up your legs, draw your core up and in. Point the tailbone down. Lift your ribs away from the pelvis, roll your shoulders up to the ears, and then shoulder blades glide down your back, palms face forward, long neck, chin parallel to the ground. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms out and up. Look up, Urdhva. Turn your palms away, swan dive your arms out wide, hinge at the hips as you bow. Come all the way down to your forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Long arms, long legs, long spine, long neck. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, back down to your forward fold, and then step your right foot back, straight leg lunge. Take your time, let your body warm up with this slow vinyasa. Lower your hips, lift your heart, let your gaze be forward, and then remove blocks and step back for downward facing dog. Let your body warm up here. You might bend the knees deeply and then add some length. Lift your tailbone up, lift your hips up, point the tailbone up, push the weight of the hips back towards the heels, and just slow down your breathing. Press into spread out hands like a starfish. Press into finger mounds and fingertips to take a little pressure off of the wrists. Pull your shoulder blades together. Push your shoulders away from the earth. On your next inhale, shift the body forward into plank. Squeeze everything. Engage. And breathe. And then you decide your knees could go down for a half plank, or you could stay in full plank. As we lower, we exhale, and you keep your elbows close to your ribs. Release the weight of your body. Tops of the feet connect. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Pull shoulder blades together and down your back. This is baby cobra with bent elbows. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Inhale the table. And exhale, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. And stay here. And breathe. And feel the length you're creating in your spine with gravity. Feel the length in the back of your legs as your heels keep lowering down towards the earth. Slowing it all down. Slowing your breath. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Lengthen it. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it to your ribs, and step it forward. Take your time. If you need to break that up into a couple of steps, do so. You meet your body where it's at, and find yourself in straight leg lunge. Lower your hips, lift your heart, lift your gaze, and be light on your fingertips. Wake up those hips, and then press off back foot to join the front foot. Back in your Uttanasana, sense the circle that you've made. Lift your hips up. Point the crown of your head down. See if you can add a little more length. If your hamstrings are still tight, then bend those knees just a little. And now we rise. Pull the belly to the spine. Reverse swan dive, arms out wide. All the way out and up. Look up, Restorative. Hands touch. Exhale, release to your heart. Hands come down to your side. And we continue. Inhale, out and up. Look up and lengthen, Urdhva. Exhale, swan dive, arms out wide as you bow. Point the crown of the head down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your shoulder blades together and down your back. Exhale, back to your forward fold. Hands frame the feet and step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift the heart, light fingertips, and then back knee lowers. As we place the left hand on the ground next or above the big toe of the right foot, or on a block, and add a twist. Right hand on the right hip. Roll left ribs down to the ground. Roll right ribs up to the ceiling, and then lift your top arm. The reason why we put the hand in front of the big toe is to help us remember to keep length in the spine. Keep twist, pull that thigh towards your ribs, and release. Revolve your shoulders to face down towards the mat. Lift the back knee and step back. Downward facing dog. That's my dog barking outside. Just find a little movement until you can find a place of ease and opening in this downward facing dog. Drink in the benefits of this pose as we stay here for 3 breaths. Lift hips up, push the weight of the hips back. Deepen this pose every time we move through it. On an inhale, shift forward into plank. Squeeze everything, draw everything to the midline. Broaden through your shoulders. Push the heels away from the body, pull your belly to your spine, and exhale, lower. Release. And immediately rise up with an inhale into your back bend. Maybe you lengthen the arms, maybe you stay in baby cobra. With the arms long, this is full cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, and you can come up through table or come up through plank, but we meet in downward facing dog. And you stay here, and you breathe. You lower your heart rate, and you deepen the pose. So many benefits here with your head below your heart, adding space to your spine, adding length to the back of the leg muscles. On an inhale, your left leg rises long behind you, extend it. Then exhale, bend the knee, pull it to your ribs, and step it forward. Find the pose, lower the hips, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and then back knee lowers as you prepare to twist. The right hand can be on a block or on the mat in front of the left big toe. First, add the twist. Roll right ribs down. Roll left ribs up. Lift the top arm. Enjoy this twist. Feel steady in your foundation. Pull your torso towards the front left thigh. And look up if that's all right with your neck. And release. Revolve the torso to face down. Lift the back knee. Press off back foot to join the front foot and stay here for a moment and breathe. And keep lifting up through the hips, pushing the crown of the head down. And then we rise. Pull belly to the spine. As you reverse swan dive, arms out wide. Hand up high. Look up, hands touch. Exhale, release. And let it go. I think we should transition now to the restorative poses. So let's just do a couple of reclined hip openers as our transition poses. Twists and hip openers are good asanas to do before you try to settle into deep restorative poses. So find a seat on the mat and come all the way onto your back. You don't need any props just yet. Come onto your back and first find yourself in constructive rest with knees bent, feet touching the ground, and palms facing up, and just take a nice settling breath in and a cleansing breath out. All right. Now lift your right foot up and cross the whole thigh over the left leg, sitting like a lady. Pull the knees tight and lift both feet off the ground. Zip your inner thighs up and then send your feet away from the midline. And I want your hands to help. So you're going to find out where it feels okay. Your hands to be at your knees, in the middle of the lower legs, on your ankles, on the outside edge of your foot, or your big toe. Whatever you can get a hold of, whatever feels right for you. I want you just to add a little bit of tension to aid in this hip opening. You should be feeling it on the outsides of your thighs and the outsides of your rear end. You're just adding a little bit of weight, a little bit of tension to help open. This is like a supine gomukhasana. A little bit easier when we're on our back and we're not holding our weight, to open up the hips in this fashion. All right, now release your hands and uncross your legs and reverse it. So now it's left leg over right. Think the knees are tight and you're zipping up your inner thighs. Send the feet away from the midline and then let your hands help deepen the opening. So hands might be on your knees or in the middle of your lower legs, or on your feet or ankles, or holding your big toe. Once you find a place that's right for you, then add a little tension, pull the feet apart. And just tune in. You don't want to feel pain, you want to feel strong sensation. You want to encourage these muscles to lengthen. And then release and let that go and uncross your legs. Both feet touch the ground. Take a nice breath in and out. And now we're going to do a little a second hip opening. It's like Lord of the Fishes, except we're reclined. So lift the left foot off the ground. Place the left ankle on top of the right knee and push the left knee away. You're going to ask you to just let the right leg fall to the right. So when you're ready, the right leg falls off to the right and the left foot touches the ground. Rearrange so that you can put both shoulder blades on the ground. If this doesn't feel good, then you can place the left foot on top of the right knee. If you want a little bit more, then you bring that left foot closer to the right hip and you hold it there. You hold the ankle, hold the shin. You're also trying to encourage the right heel to move towards the left sit bone. I forgot to mention that. And if you want to add more to it, then you draw the left shoulder blade to the ground and look left. Think of these as warm down poses, transition poses, so it doesn't have to be your deepest opening. And then let it go, your hands release, your head comes to center, and you use your core to bring the legs back up to center. Uncross the legs. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Lift the right leg. Place right ankle on top of left knee and push the right knee away from the body. Let's, as we let this left leg fall to the left, let's invite that left heel to move toward the right sit bone as we begin to help get that in the right place. And then let the right foot touch the ground. And you should notice this is a quad lengthener for this left thigh, a twist, a hip opener. If it doesn't feel good, modify, adapt so you can open the hips. And if you want more, then you bring the right foot up towards the left hip. You can add a little bit for the head and neck by drawing right shoulder blade. Excuse me. Right shoulder blade to the ground and look right. And then release your head, release your hand, uncross, bring your knees up to center. And we begin. This restorative yoga practice involves few prompts. Just to bring it home that you don't need to have all these extras. You can make the conditions right for your body to open into the relaxation mode. So take your feet as wide as the mat. Your knees are bent. Then allow the knees to fall in toward one another. You can make sure that your back is in alignment by lifting your elbows or pushing into your elbows, lift the weight of the torso and then realigning. And then arms are out to the side, about 10 to 12 inches from the body, palms facing up. Another option for the arms is to have a 90-degree bend at the elbows, right out at shoulder height. And this is goddess arms or cactus pose. So just check in, palms face up, experiment which one feels best for you. And then just settle into this. Keeping the pose, I'll hold you there for several minutes. The restorative pose is all about timing. So that's what you should bear in mind. Timing is everything with restorative yoga. In order for the brain to get the message that you're safe enough to switch off your stress response and turn on your relaxation response. It's said that your body and mind need to be at ease and your breath full for at least 20 minutes. So we'll have that time and space here now. There's no instruction for you for the breath, but there's a really nice phrase to meet yourself in the quiet. Our laundry. Meet yourself in the quiet and breathe yourself full again. And as you're resting, I'm just going to share some of the restorative yoga principles. Just that in terms of creating a space for this to happen, to really create the right conditions. Your space should be neat and tidy, warm, and softly lit. So if this were nighttime, you could turn off the lights and just have a very soft lamp. It's good to have all your props already ready. Not that we'll be using that much today, just have pillows nearby. It's also good to have a sweater nearby as the temperature changes to keep your body warm. As you find your body settling into stillness, your body temperature will drop. And then, there's different preferences for music. I personally prefer music. They don't come through very well in a recorded class, but you could provide your own music. Just let it be soft and in the background, rather than something that draws you in with lyrics. Just bearing in mind that restorative yoga is a meditative practice with the intention of drawing you inward. So don't let the music pull you out if you do choose to have it. Just one more breath in this pose. This is constructive rest, accessible to all of us. As long as you find a flat surface. And when you finish that, exhale. Bring both knees to point up toward the ceiling, and then roll to one side and come onto your belly. The next pose is crocodile pose, and not using any props. This is a full restorative pose. Come onto your belly, and then try to come onto the inside of your thigh, inside of your knee, and the inside of your foot. Just roll to one side to try to help you do this with both legs. Check it out first. If you don't like it, you can release that opening. And then lower the weight of your body down. Stack your fists, palms face down, and rest your forehead. If you find that your shoulders are tight, you can bring the arms forward, and you could rest your head on a rolled towel on your forehead. You want to have just a little bit of lift for the upper chest, because this pose not only helps to open the hips with your inner knees and inner feet touching the ground, but it also is very good for tuning into the breath. So remembering that there's time to adjust and readjust and readjust again. We'll stay here for about 4 minutes, and I really want you to tune in to feel the breath. So on an inhale, your belly will press against the mat, and on an exhale, you'll feel the abdomen lift and sort of pull back toward the spine. This is diaphragmatic breathing, the way we all should be breathing all of the time, but without intention, we can often shift into short, shallow upper chest breathing. And hoping that you can sense the inhale, fill up your ribs, expand your rib cage. And then on the exhale, you feel that all pulling back to the midline. And you should also try to check in and see, can you feel the breath fill up the back body? There's a lot of our lung capacity is in the back. And we just don't sense it or tune into it. But in this pose, you really can. With each exhale, release your weight. I've got my windows open because it's such nice weather. So we've got a few sound effects. Let that be part of your practice. You identify the sound. You notice it, you label it, and you let it pass. As you keep your attention within your body. And one more breath in this pose. Really enjoy it. Let your attention follow the breath from the beginning of the inhale all the way through to the end of your exhale. And then to come out of this, remember the instruction is to move so as not to disturb yourself. So just lightly lifting your forehead, rolling to one side to pull the leg opening out, and then pressing up into table. And we'll prepare to do the next restorative pose. For this, you'll need your 3 pillows. Again, I guess it always depends on what your thickness of pillows are. And for this, I'd like to, it's Supta Baddha Konasana is the pose. So if you already know it, you're welcome to set your props up for it. If you don't know it, then I suggest that you use the block at the shortest height and make a little ramp with the block at the medium height behind it. Set your pillows down. If you need, you might need something a little extra for your head or neck. We want the whole back body supported from the tailbone up through the crown. So see how it goes, in which case you might need an extra blanket. For your support for your ankles, you'll take a beach towel or blanket, fold it in half, and then roll it along its longest edge to make like a snake. Bring the base of your low back to meet the edge of your pillows and get your feet established before you lie down. This is a hip opener, so let the soles of the feet meet. The soles of the feet are not touching the ground. You're coming onto the outer edge of your feet and then pressing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees splay open. We support this opening by placing the blanket, the snake, in like a U formation, and then tuck it underneath the calves so that the calves can just rest and have a light support. Now, if this does not feel good to have your knees hanging out like that, that's where you might use blocks or a pillow or these full toilet paper rolls. And you're just going to put them at the place underneath your thighs or your knees that need the most support. So let's lie back down. Let your hands frame the pillows. You want to make sure your low back is close to the support as possible because you don't want a big space or a big gap. So either move your body close to them or move the pillows close to them. I think I might have changed my support. And then see if your pillows are long enough to support your whole spine, your head and neck. You might have need of a little extra support for the head and neck. And then let these legs fall open. See if that towel underneath the calves is enough. Check in. And then if it's the right place, let go. Let the body surrender, release the weight, trust the props. And just check in that you have the soles of the feet touching. You're allowing the knees to fall open. You don't have any pain in your low back or a gap or a space. If so, you're going to lift up and you're going to readjust. You might add another pillow. You might stagger your pillows so that one is a little closer and one is a little farther apart. You might add another blanket. You have time to adjust and readjust again to find the right place that feels 100% delicious and that you can just sink into. Really allow your weight to be held. And you allow this opening in the hips. The hips are an area where most humans are tight. We sit with the hips in flexion. So the human body is meant to be active. Sometimes our work or school habits contradict our design. Your arms can rest on your belly or can be on the ground with palms facing up. Encourage low belly breathing with your whole front body so wide open. Check in with where your mind is. Is it revisiting the past? Is it visiting the future? No matter, just draw it back. Let this practice be like a magnet to draw your attention right back into your center, to be present, and to be focused on giving yourself this gift. Encourage the breaths that come all the way into the low belly on the inhale. And slowly exhale. And one more breath cycle in this pose. Enjoy being in your body. Enjoy just this breath. Let your attention follow the breath as it comes in and leaves your body. When you finish that exhale, let your hands come to the outsides of the thighs to gently encourage your knees to point up to the ceiling. And then support your body as you gently turn to one side and press yourself up. We're going to do a supported supine twist. You could keep the pillows and the blocks as is, which will make it a softer twist for your spine. If you want more twist, then you might either remove blocks altogether or put them down to their lowest height. Either way, I'm going to start with my right hip flush with the edge of the pillows. Bring it up close. We want this connection, this support. And then let your body breathe in, lift up nice and tall through the spine, and then twist so that arms frame the pillows. Take time to inhale, lengthen again, and then as you exhale, lower the torso down. You're trying to lay the torso facing down to the support, and then first turn your head toward the bent knees and let your arms frame the pillows and sink into the pose. This might be just right, in which case you'll stay. If you want a little bit more, then you'd lift your head up and turn your head away from the bent knees to add a little more twist. We'll stay here for several minutes so you can turn your head any number of times. Meet your body where it's at. Find the best position for you. One more breath on this twist. And then let your palms press into the mat to lift your torso. Moving very slowly and gently so as not to disturb yourself. We'll turn around so that now it's your left hip that's flush with the edge of your support. Snuggle up close to it and then lift up tall through your spine. Take a breath in, lift up, and then twist. Arms frame your support. And before you lie down, do it again. Take another breath in, lift up, square the shoulders, and then exhale, lower the torso down to the support. And first turn toward the bent knees and allow yourself to release into the support. If this is good, then you stay here. And if you want a little bit more, you just lift and turn away from the bent knees and you release into it. You're free to change the position of your head anytime. Invite your muscles to release. You activate your muscles to come into the pose, and then with each exhale, you surrender and let your body be held by props, by the earth. Soften your breath. Doesn't have to be your deepest opening. You want to find a place of ease. Just one more breath cycle in this supported twist. It's harder to breathe in a twist. You've compressed your diaphragm. And when you finish that exhale, then bring your palms to frame your shoulders and press your torso up. Remove your props as we move into the final pose of the practice, Shavasana. If you liked any of those poses, if you wanted to add any of the props for your final pose, you're welcome to do so. The intention of this last pose in every yoga class is to unfurl the body long, open up, release effort in ankles, and turn your palms up. That just helps to open shoulders and open hips. And to let go, to be effortless. There's no instruction for the breath. You're invited to close your eyes and keep turning inward. Stay right where you are. Tune into the sound. Let it draw your attention back into your body. And then gently begin to deepen your breath. Let that breath reanimate your body. Encourage small movement by moving fingers in a wave-like fashion, one at a time. Bending your wrists, rolling them. Move your attention into your feet as you invite the toes to wiggle and the ankles to move. And then when the time is right, invite your body to move in whatever way feels good. That might mean opening and extending and lengthening, or it might mean bending your knees and pulling them close to your chest. Just listen to your body and recognizing that you will be transitioning. So bending your knees eventually and rolling to one side, just pausing there before you get up. Just pause there on your side with your knees bent. Perhaps a bent elbow supports your head. Just tune in to how you feel. Your body, your mind, your breath, all one piece. And then press off with your elbow and with your hand. Lift yourself up, bring the spine vertical. Keep your attention inward, keep your eyes lowered. Come into a comfortable seated position. And then let your hands drift toward one another to meet at your center, at your heart, in Anjali Mudra. Press your palms together, press fingertips and thumbs together, and rest your thumbs at your sternum. Bow your head, bow to yourself, bow to your heart. Call to mind the intention you set at the beginning of this class, and take it off the mat with you. Use your intention. Let it be a funnel to direct your energy and your efforts. Now let's end the class by uniting our energy with a single chant of Om. Remembering the sound is like the letters O-M, and the symbolism of that sound is our connection to one another and our connection to the universe. Join in if you're comfortable, otherwise just listening. Exhale fully. Inhale deeply. I invite you to lift your thumbs up to the center of your forehead and join me in offering this greeting to one another, the Sanskrit word, Namaste, which means the light in me sees and honors the very same light in you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.